What is a sanctuary? A sanctuary is a sacred place. It's somewhere where an institution is located, or it's just a location, for example, for somewhere on an island, or it can be what they call a national park. It's a place that's set apart for a special purpose. If it's a national park, then they might want to preserve some species over there, or they want to preserve some monuments. A sanctuary is a set apart place that contains social significance for the community. You have sacred places in the heavens. You can read about it in scripture. Human beings also design sacred places. Castles and temples are just two examples of them. And also cathedrals are sacred places. Well, pagans design sacred places to worship their gods, which are demons. We know that. This is a cathedral in Portugal. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to set foot in this stronghold. Maybe that's not a good idea, but I can do it. Some tourists do it. So let me go over here. Yes. Today is a tourist attraction. This used to be, it still is to some extent, but this used to be a place that only the initiates were allowed to come. And this is what I want to teach you guys. I'm showing you it a little bit. That's the city of Oporto, which is Portuguese for the gate. Look, why am I showing you guys this? It's because sanctuaries reveal the heart of a community. Whether the community is just a village, or whether it's a nation that contains millions of people, or just a minority, sanctuaries are at the heart of every community. If it's a village, it can be the house of a grandmother that bakes cookies for everyone, and she is one of the central figures that keeps the community together. Everyone knows each other. They have one thing in common, is that they know that grandmother lives over there. Sanctuaries are sacred. They're not holy. They're sacred. Sacred means something that you set apart for a special purpose. In every community, when you contaminate a sanctuary, people come after you. Because the difference between sacred and profane is that profane is just common things, and sacred is something that's considered special. Every community, you can touch everything that's profane. Profane simply means it's not sacred, it's not something special and set apart. And in any community you go there, you touch the sacred things and you're not initiate, you are in trouble. Why? Because that's at the core of their community. Without that sacredness, you have no community. It can be, for example, that you have a town somewhere, and there is this, I would say, this waterfall that nobody goes to. And then you ask the people, why is anyone going to that waterfall? They say, just don't do it. Now, when you go into history, you find out that like 100 years ago, several children died there when they were swimming. So this trauma caused everyone back then to avoid that waterfall. So since then, in that town, there is prohibition to visit that waterfall. But people that live today can't explain to you why they can't go to that waterfall. And you think, what's going on? It's a beautiful place. Let's say you go to the waterfall and people find you there. It can be that you're kicked out of the community, don't want anything to do with you anymore, and you think, I didn't commit any crime. Well, you didn't. It was just a waterfall somewhere. It was not a restricted area. Nobody was operative over there. It shows us that prohibition was sacred to the community. It's important to know how sanctuaries work and which role they play in a community. As a believer, this is important. You know why? Not because you're going to agree or validate those sanctuaries, but because you know then what's going on in that community, and you know which points Satan has in keeping the community trapped. Because the enemy will use the pagan sanctuaries to keep the human population trapped. And those pagan sanctuaries, they have their purpose in daily life. Okay? So, for practical reasons, they should be preserved. Not to worship those pagan gods, but for the practical cohesion of the community. Until Christ returns, pagan sanctuaries will have their place in the human population. They will disappear after Christ returns. So know that. Just realize that those sanctuaries are there, but you shouldn't align yourself with them. Because the moment you align yourself with a sanctuary by agreeing with its sacredness, you are trapped. You don't have to go out there and destroy sanctuaries. No, don't do that. But just don't align yourself with them. And sanctuaries don't have to be buildings like this. It can also be just a prohibition. Well, that's it for now. Keep agreeing with Christ and be at peace.